good evening. We're going to call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. This meeting is being video and audio recorded for future cable broadcast. If you will please silence all cell phones for the duration of the meeting, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to begin this evening with our school choice hearing. So if I could have a motion, please, to formally open our school choice hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and all those in favor? We're going to do a roll call on this.
Okay.
Mrs. Gomes?
Yes.
Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Mr. Howcroft?
Yes.
And Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'd like to welcome any public comment with regard to the school choice hearing this evening. If there is any, I welcome you to the podium. Okay, seeing none. Dr. Bailey, I hand it over to you.
Sure. I recommend that the school committee vote not to accept school choice students from other districts for the 22-23 school year to continue what we've been doing, and that's really a space issue mostly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. We will take a vote on this later in our school committee meeting. So if I could have a motion, please, to formally close our school choice hearing.
So moved.
Second.
And then all those in favor by roll call.
Mrs. Gomes?
Yes.
Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Mr. Howcroft?
Yes.
And Mrs. Downing?
Yes. Okay, thank you. And now we need a motion to open our regular school committee meeting. So if I could request a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So we're going to start with approval of minutes, payroll, and warrants. If I could have a motion, please, of approval of the minutes of April 5th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. If I could request a motion of approval of the executive session meeting minutes of April 5th, 2022. These are not to be released.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Approval, if I could request a...
Abstain.
Okay. Did you get that, Kelly? Yeah. Okay, so if I could request a motion of approval, please, of the executive session minutes of April 8th, 2022, again, not to be released.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. If I could request a motion of approval, please, of the executive session minutes of April 14th, 2022, not to be released.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
And finally, if I could request a motion of approval, please, of the payroll and warrants.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on those? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I'd like to welcome members of the public now for this evening's portion of the meeting for delegation. If there's any comments on agenda items? No? Okay. And Dr. Bailey, handing it back over to you, please, for school choice vote?
Yep. So
Anything,
I don't know
any
if there's
more
any
to say on that?
discussion, or we just need a vote as we do each year, but I'm not sure how the committee feels.
Okay. Any
Yes.
questions about school choice and the recommendation that's been made?
No, I think we should keep them status quo.
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Howcroft, you all set?
All set.
Okay. All right, so if I could request a motion, please, to not participate in school choice for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Okay.
Okay,
Personnel?
Next up, you have your personnel report. Since last month, we have 3 new staff members. Does anybody have any questions on that?
No
Okay.
questions here.
Moving on, we have an out-of-state request for a field trip. Grade 2 would like to go to Roger Williams Park, and that has to be voted on because it's an out-of-state trip by the school committee, so I would just need a vote on
Okay.
approval for that.
I have a question on policy on that, for the policy committee, because we voted on another one, and I was thinking this then too. Is it, would it be appropriate to kind of change that policy so that we wouldn't have to vote on out-of-state ones for places that they've been before? And maybe if there's just a new thing, then they could, possibly need to get that approved for a trip. Like, is that,
I think the reason why we had to was for insurance purposes, but I think we should
Yeah.
check that out.
That is the reason why.
Yeah, insurance.
is it? Okay.
Mhm.
So insurance stipulates that every field trip has to have official approval, but
Only out of state, because then it might fit on a different policy for insurance.
Got
You know how
it.
there's different
Mhm.
riders. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
assuming that's why we had this. But if somebody wants to check.
So we can look.
okay, we
Yeah,
can look into
That's
that.
a good point.
Doesn't-
Yeah, no, good point.
All right, so if I could have a motion, please, to approve the proposed field trip request to Roger Williams. Oh, did you have?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. I'll wait till the motion is made and seconded, and then I
Okay.
just have a question.
All right, so requesting a motion of approval for the field trip, out-of-state field trip request to Roger Williams Park Zoo.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Question, any student fee involved in this, or is it basically all funded by,
I'm looking at that list right now. It looks like
doesn't-
PTO is it looks like it's PTO funded.
Yep.
Mhm. Fully.
100% funded?
Yep.
Yes.
Ladies, all PTO funded.
Mhm.
Now, will the school provide the bag lunch as well?
I believe they'll bring a bag lunch.
Oh, they will.
or if
Students bring their bag
need
lunch.
A lunch. I'm sure we'll provide it if students
Yeah.
need a lunch.
They did that for Fenway Park too. The children could either bring their own lunch or they provided a bag lunch.
Mhm.
Too bad they can go to Fenway Park and have a bag lunch of peanuts, something
Yeah.
like
No,
that.
that was $9. No, it's cheaper to have.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next one, I wanted a vote of support. This is a project we've been talking about all year, getting new school signage outside. New signs for each school, a new electronic sign where that existing message board is, and wayfinder signs as well. So I put in the specs just to give you an idea of, but where the school district is pretty much ready to move forward with the design and everything, and I know that Mrs. Gomes has been involved when we had companies come out to show us samples for the electronic sign. We also vetted this out through the neighborhood, so all the neighbors were invited to come and look and see, and I only received one positive phone call with that no one had ever reached out to them before about anything going on at the school like this. They were very happy that we reached out. But other than that, I haven't heard anything.
There were no negative comments.
No,
concerns.
nothing, which is great. And we want to be good neighbors, obviously. We don't want a flashy sign at all
Mhm.
hours of the night. We just want people to be able to drive by, especially during the day, and be able to read the signage. And right now, when there's too many letters up on there and people are driving by, it's really hard to read.
I would also imagine it's easier to make constant updates and
Yes.
have more than one message.
Yes.
Right? So-
Exactly. Right now, it's done manually
Mhm.
and in all sorts of weather. We're lugging out those big letters to put on the board, and this
Mhm.
would be basically hooked up to a computer that we can manage right from the computer. So, what I would, be looking for is a vote of support to get this project going. And again, that would be for, new school signs, new wayfinder signs, and a new electronic message board. And it would just really update, we've talked about updating the campus. We talked about possibly looking at getting some flags on our poles just to make it look like a school campus. We take a lot of pride in our core values and everything we're doing in Acushnet, and I just think, the first thing that people see will be the signs welcoming them onto our campus.
I'm just happy that our new signage that I've seen pictures of, they look amazing. And we no longer look like we are the Freetown State Forest, because that's what these signs remind me of every time I see them. So we will look like a school district that is moving into the next century, so.
Okay. I think it makes sense just for efficiency and to be able to get more messages out and communicate more to families. That alone, I think it's a huge advantage, but I agree. I think it's
More
bringing us
school.
up to date here for technology. Any other questions,
No, it's
comments,
just
or
that the
concerns?
public many times relies upon those signs, for information.
That's right.
That we're doing. It'd be surprising, like, the town, for example, for the second time has lost we call it the marquee, the one that was on the corner of Main and South Main. I don't know where that went. But how many people have relied upon that sign? Now it's gone again.
Yeah, now they're carting in the giant ones on wheels.
Right.
But that's not,
And
as
we have
good
quite
as
a bit
the
of traffic every day here with our two schools. Greater majority of our students are dropped off. Even the kids see the signs from the bus. So it's definitely another way to get information out to the community, to our families, and to our students.
I'm just confirming, this is one sign, correct?
No,
Maybe
it's
two.
one sign for each school.
Okay.
And then it's the message board, which would become an electronic message board. So the picture that you see, it looks like this.
Yes.
That would become an electronic message board that would be hooked up to our computers. And then on the next page, you have the separate signage for the schools. Those would also be new. And then you see around campus, there's wayfinder signs. Again, those are also matching the wooden look. And we would have something probably with our school colors that look like a school wayfinder sign. So the quotes we got was for everything.
So it's only one electronic sign. The other ones are just
Right.
regular signs.
And we're
They're
gonna
just
make
more
sure
up to
that's-
date,
we're gonna
branded
make
with
sure
the
that's
colors.
correct blue.
Yes, the one that we voted on.
Make sure it's the correct
Yes.
blue. And actually, we did discuss that.
Yes, we did.
So,
I'm on that.
yeah.
Have Mr. Tibbs sign off on it.
Yes.
Okay, well, if there are no further comments or questions, sounds like there are no concerns, so if I could have a motion of approval for the new outdoor electronic message center and updated signs for the district.
So
I'll make
moved.
that motion.
Oh, I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Actually, can we do a discussion?
Oh, sure,
I just wanna
sorry.
bring to everyone's attention that this is within budget, correct? We do have the funds for this. It'll be covered under this year's fiscal.
Yes,
Budget.
that's the plan.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you, sorry. I
Of
just thought that was
course,
important.
yes, no, thank you for bringing that point up. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're going to get new signs.
Excellent.
Yay.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Next up, I wanted to introduce and call up to the podium Mr. Brian Hyde. He is the recently retired business manager from Uxbridge, and I would ask that he come to the podium and introduce himself and maybe discuss what he's been doing in the district, but he is the interim business manager for Acushnet Schools right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Bailey. Good evening, Chairman Downing, members of the committee, Superintendent Bailey. My name is Brian Hyde. I'm helping out in the business office, and I'm really glad to be a wildcat. Before I start and tell you what I've been up to, I just wanted to start with a preamble. I'd start with our committees. The Acushnet School Business Office is committed to continuous improvement, transparent communication, and fiscal responsibility. So I'm about 100%, leading to student achievement and student success. We are a unified team with the purpose of being a high-performing school district, and I hope that this meeting is one more step in that process. So I've been here, this is my 11th day. It's been a really positive experience so far. I've met tons of people. I started with an entry plan, and the purpose of the entry plan is to develop a comprehensive picture of the Acushnet Public Schools, help me better understand in a very short period of time. My contract with you folks is until June 30th. So the goal is to better understand the school system, lead to creation of a report and recommendations to Superintendent Bailey. The plan consists of interviews with various stakeholders throughout the district, individuals and group meetings, as well as a review of plan and documents, in an effort to develop a true sense of the Acushnet Public Schools, of the system, and provide a basis for future goals, objectives, and activities that you'd like me to pursue while I'm here. So generally the goals are to get to know the school district and the people as fully as possible in a very short period of time, to examine the key issues in the district based on stakeholder feedback, and to develop or make a sense of how issues are handled today, the norms that we use to address these issues, and to create a plan for organizational functions in the future. I'm also here to identify tasks which need to be done, and prioritize those tasks, and then establish how these tasks should be accomplished. So that's what I've been working on the past few weeks. The specific objectives are to determine the key issues at the building level from an outsider's perspective based on stakeholder feedback, determine the key issues for the district as well, and then determine the issues which the superintendent and the school committee believes I should focus on while I'm here and concentrate on throughout the course of this next few months. And finally, determine the issues with the district and the school should face in the work next year in the FY23. So I have 25 meetings scheduled. I've had 10 of them already. 1 school committee member, 3 central office individuals. I met with both principals, and very formal and targeted questions and processes that were consistent throughout the district. I met with 2 directors out of our 4 directors. I met with the town manager, the chief of police, and I also will meet with the DPW director, the outgoing fire chief, the town accountant, the town treasurer, etc. Documents, looking at currently your collective bargaining agreements. I've started serving on the negotiations team with members of the committee and the admin team and the union officials who have been wonderful so far to date. So we're looking at collective bargaining agreements. I'm looking at budget documents. I reviewed the FY22 budget to see where we are. Previewing the FY23 budget to see what's next. We tell the leaders that as much as the principals and directors are in the now, really the superintendent and I and the committee are in the next. And our goal is to make sure that we're a year out and the students of Acushnet get the best possible education they could possibly get, balanced with the fiscal conservancy that the people of the taxpayers of Acushnet expect. And understand this community is on the backs of the taxpayer. And our job is to support those taxpayers, protect them, and make sure that the return on investment is seen not only when the kids go home to their families, but by the general public who have really no claim to the schools, because it's really 70% of the community has nothing to do with public education. And that's across the state anyway. And I looked at your building use policy, your fee structures, that was policy KF. And it's funny, I like to, this gentleman said a comment earlier about some comment about people, and the deal is that it's the same issues, different community. You know, in jest, I like to say, same circus, different clowns, right? Because we're all doing the same work in different districts and really in isolation. But the problems that you're facing right now, the issues that you're dealing with, every district in the Commonwealth is dealing with them. And it's too bad that we don't really spend enough time at MASC or MAS or MASBO, etc., because everyone's going through the same. Every issue that I've addressed, I've uncovered or seen here, it's the same stuff in different districts. Policy KF, that's a big one. You building use, facilities use, right? So I'm really excited to be here, and I bring 33 years of public education. I was a long-time 20-year classroom teacher, high school administrator, superintendent of schools, and just recently a business manager for the past 6 years. And I really enjoy this work. Miss the kids. I really love the central offices in the building because that's where the energy is. And I know it's the leadership team. We've been trying to get into classrooms and try to get in every hallway every day and every classroom every week to really get a good grasp of what's going on in the district. So my office number is the same as Kristen's was. My cell phone is available through the superintendent, and I'd be happy to have conversations with you at any time. And I think I have meetings scheduled with most of you already, so looking forward to that.
Great.
And if you'd like me to answer any questions, I could probably take them. If not, I'll just go back to my chair.
Thank you very much, and, you know, you retired on a Friday and you showed up on, what, Monday or Tuesday? So it's nice timing for us, but does anybody have any questions or comments?
I have a comment, you know, first of all, if he had attended town meeting last night, he wouldn't be.
I do better.
But anyway, it's,
That's so
in
true.
reading, your presentation and reading what you had sent us, it seems that it's more than a short-term interim type of, that's just an observation, so. So I just want to say as a comment that is have that noted, that it's, for some reason, it seems to be more than just a month or two interim. But I'll let that slide, you know, I'll just have that for the record in my comment. But other than that, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and we need a lot of that, and it makes coming to meetings enjoyable. But that's all I have to say this time.
And Mr. Howcroft, just if I could respond, Chair, to his
Sure.
comment.
Mhm.
I will say that it definitely is a lot, but he's already in 11 days done a lot and has been up to speed, because as you know, this is a very difficult time of year to come in
Yes.
and get to know, and it was very important to me that he know the key members of our leaders, even teachers, town hall folks, people in the community, because the business manager interacts with all those stakeholders. So it was very important to the district that he get up to speed quickly. And in order to do that, I mean, it's unbelievable to me how much he's done in 11 days. So I know that sounds like a lot, but like he said, he's had quite a bit of meetings already, and he's processed quite a bit already. And again, it's just a very busy time of the year in that office to wrap up the budget.
Well, I know, I would note that finding a business manager, even temporary, is a very, very difficult task with certifications and an amount of money that is paid. That they're very, very difficult to find, to be a challenge. So we've been very fortunate, and I want to say that for the record as well.
Yeah, thank you.
When would we expect to see an updated budget? When do you think?
We get our next meeting, and we work every day on the budget, getting familiar with the process, with the past reporting. But I am on the budget every day. You have the warrants in front of you tonight. I think Chairman Downey's signing some warrants tonight. We are going to be in the black. I'm not worried about going into the red. I mean, again, I always say you never get fired for screwing up the curriculum, but you mess up the budget, you're in big trouble. And we're not going to do that. The school system is in very good financial shape. Your leadership team is outstanding, and that's one of the reasons I'm excited to be here every day. You got a solid foundation here, and very good, and you're going to be great.
So by the end of May, we should have at our next meeting. I'm sorry, I'm on the budget committee.
We're in real time right now, Munis. Whatever gets posted into purchase orders gets into Munis, and from Munis is where our bottom line is.
Okay.
So we can get that any moment, at any time.
Okay.
You can download it.
I'd like to see
I'm just trying
the
to get it
most
from
updated.
From Munis, documents into readable spreadsheets, and that's the next step.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything else?
Well, welcome to
Yes.
Acushnet,
Thank you
Mr.
very
Hyde.
much,
It's great to
Shannon.
have you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
And that's all I have tonight.
Okay. All right, so are there any reports by school committee members that need to be made this evening? No? Okay. There are a number of communications noted there that you can reference at your convenience. We do have executive session tonight, so if I could have a motion to adjourn our meeting, and then we'll move into executive session, and we will not be returning.
Right.
So this will be a motion to adjourn our regular school committee meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion tonight? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.